Actually, I was born after the Second World War in 1946. And when we were kids, nobody ever told us to go to art school. They told us to get a job. And that along the way somehow I got inebriated. When you do get sober, you don't go to the bar and drink Cokes with your friends. You have to change your life. So that's what I did. One night, a few years after we had been sober, my wife suggested we take art lessons. And I said to myself, no, I'll go hit some golf balls and she can go take them. But I decided not to do that and went with her to a place over near the Museum of Fine Arts where a guy named Chester Snowden was. He opened a door and there was a studio back there. It cascaded in color and paintings and art and all the wall, and it had a few students. But as that is, what was my biggest curiosity was how could it become priceless, beyond money? So, continuing to look, somewhere along the road, I don't even know why, but I was in Houston driving around our 610 loop. And just right out of nowhere, the idea crossed my mind I could use human remains. Yeah, as a matter of fact, if I could just get a cupful of it, I could put it in the surface of a canvas and I could set up a new dialogue between the painting and humans, because clearly there'd be not a human, but it was human. These pieces don't make easily. You have to take this material and you have to take it out, and then you have to, in some cases, you have to sift it. They got bone fragments. They don't have many bone fragments anymore because of the years it's been, but in the early days there was a lot of bone fragments. So you sift it. You take a really high quality gel medium and you mix it and you just put it in a bowl and you just get it all, not overly thick, but thick enough to do it. And then you take a palette knife and well, if you see some of the big paintings on the wall, you'll have to realize how long it takes to take a palette knife and make these things work. One of my great curiosities about humankind, by virtue of all of the curiosities of humankind, was what it is about humans that always want to sort of turn their heads away from the ugly parts of reality and just accentuate the nicer, prettier stuff. This particular piece in my history is what I consider arguably the premier piece of art that I've ever made, just because of the nature of it. Baby Boy Brooks was born, died, cremated, and left behind in a dark closet. So I always start with the idea that if you were to look at that in the way of infinite reality and then measure it against yourself, and you're fortunate of being at least arguably alive, but it is far more possible that something can come out of it than Baby Boy Brooks. So I say that because it was the way I sort of measured this way of opening the dialogue, both philosophically, theologically, psychologically, you name it, anything in the world of human thought. And where could you not take that colossalness of the unknown, the bigness of the inability to ever resolve what it is about the endless universe, the thing that cannot be measured.